Assessed from any angle, Napoleon fascinates and baffles. With more books written about him than anyone in history, his name, his conquests, his appearance, and even his love life have lingered in popular consciousness for generations. Napoleon was extreme in his bipolarity, his mood oscillating from moment to moment, incredibly considerate, but then brutally harsh, totally absorbed in his grandiose global ambitions, but then meticulous in his battlefield tactics, a product of the French Revolution and its ideals of equality and liberty, but then a power-hungry tyrant. These two letters add to the mist of the mystique which surround Napoleon and demonstrate quite starkly his inconsistency and, at times, his irrationality. It is said that in a meeting in Dresden after the disastrous Russian campaign of 1812, in which over 1 million French lost their lives, Napoleon remarked that a man like me does not give a damn about the lives of 1 million men. Yet this is also a man who wept when his best friend died on the battlefield. Napoleon was a man of contradictions. Nowhere is this clearer than in his attitude towards women. Indeed, his earliest influence was his strong-minded mother, who he looked upon with great respect and admiration, spilling over into their formidable relationship. As a political figure, Napoleon was the first leader to give a woman responsibility for a diplomatic mission in 1813, and as a partner, he would write to his wife, Josephine, some of the most intoxicating love letters, such as in July 1796, where he wrote, "Since I left you, I have been constantly depressed. My happiness is to be near you. Incessantly, I live over in my memory your caresses, your tears, your affectionate solicitude. The charms of the incomparable Josephine kindle continually a burning and glowing flame in my heart. I thought that I loved you months ago, but since my separation from you, I feel that I love you 1,000-fold more. I entreat you to permit me to see some of your faults. Be less beautiful, less gracious, less affectionate, less good. Especially be not over anxious and never weep. Your tears rob me of reason and inflame my blood. Believe me, it is not in my power to have a single thought which is not of thee." Contrast this with what Napoleon wrote just over 10 years later in a letter about what educational practices ought to be implemented in a French girls' school, and one sees his naked misogyny and ignorance on display. What we ask of education is not that girls should think, but that they should believe. The weakness of women's brains, the instability of their ideas, the place they will fill in society, all this can be met by religion. Girls must be taught writing, arithmetic, and elementary French so that they may know how to spell, and they ought to learn a little history and geography, but care must be taken not to let them see Latin or other foreign languages. The elder girls can be taught a little botany and can be taken through an easy course of physics, but that too has certain embarrassments. The teaching of physics must be limited to what is necessary to prevent gross ignorance and silly superstition. Nothing is worse or more open to censure than the idea of letting young girls appear on the stage or stimulating rivalry among them. It is good for men who may have to make speeches and who, having to master so many subjects, need the support and stimulus of competition. But in the case of young girls, competition should be banned. We don't want to rouse their passions or to give play to the vanity which is one of the liveliest instincts of their sex. Stripped of their individuality and deprived of knowledge, for Napoleon it seems that girls ought to be crafted into mere machine-like servants of their husbands. The question can quite rationally be posed: how can a man who acknowledged his own mother's role in his upbringing and poured out his love for his wife in countless letters continue to hold such shallow views about women? Few men have left their mark on the world as much as Napoleon. Through the Napoleonic Code, he built the foundations of the civil law system we see today. Through his centralization of power, he created the modern state, and through his command of military strategy, he redrew the map of Europe. Yet the story of Napoleon, through these letters, shows us that even geniuses have their blind spots. Napoleon Bonaparte with letters for the ages.